Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla, and this is where we'll be talking about all things growth, purpose, and becoming the CEO of your own life, okay? So if you are new here, welcome. Hey sister. And if you are OG, welcome back. It is up. It is time. I know y'all been waiting for me, but it's time, okay? So I don't know if this is going to be a series, y'all, or I don't know if this is going to be an episode, but I have this topic on my mind, and I'm going to call it Purpose Reloaded, okay? Purpose Reloaded. We have to get into it, but before I get into anything, I just want to welcome you with open arms, with an open heart, and an open mind. I pray that this video is nothing less than transformational for you. We're going to be talking about my journey from entrepreneur to employment to CEO, okay? Because one thing about it, it's giving CEO nowadays. It's giving CEO. So I need to talk about the whole journey, y'all. It has been a long time coming, and I have so much to share with you all. So I have my iPad with me because I wrote some questions down. I want to give you all everything. So to guide this conversation, I'm going to use my questions, and then I'm just going to speak freely. I have not answered these questions yet. I just wrote the questions down because I want to be as authentic and transparent as possible. I don't want it to feel like I'm trying to memorize what I came up with. Like, this is not that, okay? This is a conversation that needs to be open and honest, very vulnerable, very transparent. I am a crybaby, but I don't think I'm gonna cry today. If I do, okay, whatever. But that is not my goal, but my goal is to be open with you all, honest, and truly genuine about the journey that I've been on, because my life has been nothing less than a blessing. But I had some trials, y'all. I had some trials. Like I said, we're talking about entrepreneurship to employment, back to entrepreneurship. But this time, I am not a business owner. I am walking around truly feeling like a CEO, okay? And yeah, let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. So my first question is, let's go to it, okay? So my first question is, what is Purpose Reloaded? What is Purpose Reloaded? So if you do not know, I had a podcast, and it was called Phase of Her Purpose Podcast, okay? So we talked about purpose, we talked about the journey towards purpose, and like all things purpose. But if I could be honest with y'all, God showed me my purpose, okay? He showed me who I was at a very young age, and I was not necessarily ready. Don't get me wrong. I did my thing with what I knew how to do my thing with, but being on the other side, being 5 years down the journey, looking back on what I would call baby Kayla, she was just ready, okay? She was just doing what she could with what she had, and she had a lot of growing up to do. Okay, so this is definitely Purpose Reloaded. I want to say same purpose, different woman, okay? Same idea, different mindset, okay? New era. It's just giving new era, new clarity. And truly, this is what I thought I had before, okay? So that is the whole concept behind Purpose Reloaded. Same assignment, different woman. Same call, different assignment. More clear assignment, if you will. So let's get into it. When was the first time I realized I had purpose? I had a purpose, okay? So that takes me all the way back to the beginning of this journey. This whole idea around what is purpose, the concept of having a purpose, not even necessarily what is my purpose. I didn't even know to ask for that, okay? This started when I was on the campus of Lincoln University. I was a freshman. No, I was not a freshman. I was a junior. It was junior year, spring semester, and I was going through something with my boyfriend, okay? I was sad, y'all. Y'all know how that get. I was away for school. He was home. And I was sad. I believe we were going through a breakup. Yeah, or we were just going through a tough time, and I just felt not like myself. I felt like I was doing something that my soul knew I knew better. And in that moment, all I could really think about was, God, okay, before I even say that, growing up, I went to all girls schools, okay? I've always been the advice giving friend. I've always been the girl that everybody thought had the answers. I even remember asking my mom one day, like, Mom, why do everybody always come to me for advice? Like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, how do they know that I know? Because a lot of times I feel like I don't know, okay? So that was me. I always had little sisters, younger girls looking up to me. You know, that was like my world, okay? So at this time in my journey, I just felt like it was something that people knew about me that I didn't know about myself. And I just was tired of that. And I was also very irritable at that time. Like, I really was just like, I just don't want anybody to have control over my world, right? This is my whole mindset before I prayed, okay? So I'm trying to just set the stage for the big moment. So like I said, I was going through something with my boyfriend at the time, and I just did not like how that experience consumed me. I really prayed, like, God, I want to be so certain in myself that nothing anybody else does can control my environment. I was through with that. And then I also prayed, like, God, can you please show me to me? Okay, show me the version of myself that everybody else see, because I don't feel like her. A lot of times I'm just being myself, and it's clearly something about me that gets people to gravitate towards me, but I don't really know what that is. So I am 19 at this time. I remember driving, so I'm from Baltimore, so I was driving to Lincoln. It's like an hour and like 20 minutes away. I was driving up the highway, and you know how when you have to go to the bathroom and you're like at your door, it's like, all right, and then all of a sudden it's like really hitting, right? That's how the tears felt. It felt like I was holding on the whole ride there. I'm in the car by myself, y'all. I could have broke down in the car, but for some reason I was just like holding the tears. I was flying to campus, and like when I got to campus, it was like coming up more. When I got to my dorm, it was like almost there. I remember it feels like I was running down the hallway, open my apartment door, get in my so I lived in an apartment style living. So it was like my apartment, and then it was like 5 different rooms. So once I got in my apartment, I ran to my room, hurry up, lock the door, close the door, and I just remember like falling to the ground and like praying. One thing about me, I grew up in church, but I've never been that type of church girl. Like I didn't like pray all the time, and like I didn't do all of that. So this was like my first time getting on my knees and praying. That's how heavy the feeling was for me. I'm like, God, I need you. I'm so tired of going through this. Like, I am tired of allowing this man, okay? Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of allowing this man, these people to really shake me. I don't like this feeling, right? So I prayed the prayer that I just explained. God, show me who I am. Because clearly the world see me one way and Kaylah don't see herself that way. I need to know who I am, okay? So from that moment, y'all, it was like, I was so desperate for the answer. I just kind of like isolated myself in a way. That's when I discovered Sarah Jakes Roberts. Shout out to Sarah. And one day I'm gonna meet Sarah. So I'm glad that I even got to this point in the video, because I'm gonna come back to this video when I'm on that stage with Sarah, because that my sister, that's really my sister, y'all, like my older sister that I never had. So shout out to Sarah. But I was watching her like habitually, like morning, night. And at this point I'm a junior on campus. A lot of people know me, right? So it felt like every time, and I was also waking up really early at this time too. I would like go to breakfast before class. Like I was just in a very isolated season at that time. So I remember when it felt like every time I would go somewhere on campus, I would have to interact with somebody. And every interaction, it was kind of like I was in a position to like give them advice or something. But the advice that I had to give them was something that I learned from Sarah. And when I picked up on this pattern, it became like a thing. Like, if I don't watch Sarah, I am not going to have what I need to give somebody. So that created like some type of fear in me, you know, like not fear in a way of like I'm literally scared, but kind of sort of I was like, I don't know, like people keep coming to me with real heavy things, and if I don't know what to say to them, that could be it for them. So it did become like a thing for me. At this time, it was Miss Lincoln University was hosting sister circles. So sister circles were just an opportunity for the women on campus to come together, and we were talking a lot about like God, just life on campus, just all these different things. And I remember I almost am certain that I was sharing the same experience, or I was talking about something more specific about an interaction that I had with a woman on campus, and then my whole Sarah journey. But at this time, I was still in it, right? I was still very open, very vulnerable, just very sensitive. And I could not get through the story without breaking down, right? So I was closing my eyes. I remember closing my eyes and sharing whatever I needed to share. When I opened my eyes, everybody in the room was crying. Like, most of the people in the room was like crying. And it was in that moment that I realized that it's my voice that does it, right? It's something about the way I explain. It's something about the way I articulate. It's something about my voice that moves people. And in that moment, I realized that that was God giving me my answer. And I was like, okay, this is my answer. This is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to do, right? So this is when the whole idea of having a purpose, what is my purpose, came alive. I was like, okay, I'm called to speak. And I also knew the joy that I felt being able to give people what they need. So I'm like, I want to help more people find their purpose, because I feel like I'm on top of the world. Like, not everything in my world is not perfect, but I feel on top of the world right now. And I want more people to feel this joy. Like, it felt like a fulfillment, if you will. Like, I knew in that moment that this was the missing piece in the world. If everybody knew what they was on this planet to do and they were doing it, the world would be a better place. Like, that's when it just clicked for me. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So at the time, I was, I studied finance and accounting in college. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Maybe we can get into that on a different episode, but that was my major. I was also going through a hard time with my major around this time as well, because I changed my major. I dropped accounting and I just stuck to finance. But just that whole, it was like I started as an accounting major, had a minor in finance, then I double majored to accounting and finance, then I dropped finance and kept accounting, then I just dropped accounting, kept finance. It was like a whole thing, because I just could not figure out what I wanted to do. And I remember I had this professor, shout out to him, didn't like him, but shout out to him because he definitely played a big part in my journey. So it was one professor for like all of the higher level accounting courses, and he was tough, y'all. Like, I never struggled in school. So when I remember, it was the accounting class, it was like intermediate accounting 1 and tax 1. I had both of those classes together. So it was probably like from 9 a.m. to probably like 12:50. It was a long time, and I was just struggling. I was struggling so bad, and I just couldn't get it. And when midterms came out, I seen my grade, and it was like a D, y'all. I was devastated. I was like, this is not it. I am not about to stress myself out by doing this, but I don't know what to do, right? So I was also, this whole situation happened before the prayer, okay? Just to give you a little context. So I was just felt lost in a way. And then dealing with my boyfriend stuff, it was just like, no, like something has to shake. So I realized, like, okay, I remember calling my mom, like, boo-hoo crying, like, Mom, I cannot have 2 Ds. I know this one class, I'm gonna have a D, but the other class, like, I cannot have 2 Ds. My scholarship, like, something has to change. And my mom was basically like, change your major. You just need to change your major. Drop accounting. Like, it's not going to work. I mean, she didn't say it wasn't going to work, but she was just looking at me like, if you're going through all of this, like, I remember I cried the whole class period, y'all. Both 2 classes, I could not get myself together. That's what made me go to the bathroom and call my mother. I'm like, Mom, I cannot get over this. And she was like, Kaylah, it's not that serious. Go change your major. And at that moment, I was like, okay, I'm just going to drop accounting and just do finance solely because going into college, I thought that accounting was math, y'all. Accounting is not math, okay? So I'm like, I need something more mathy, more formula, more something like that. And that's what finance was. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to just do finance and that's it. I changed my major to finance. I didn't really have to do any extra years because all of the classes that I already took were also classes for the finance major as well. So I had it was 6 different classes. So I just knocked those out. So that, cool. I was going through the finance world, but I also already knew that I just love people, right? I was thriving academically because I know how to do school. You talk to your teachers, do your work, that kind of thing. But did I feel fulfilled in that? No. By my junior year, I already did an internship. And yes, it looked good on paper. Don't get me wrong. The internship looked good on paper. Who don't want, like, you go to college to get a job. Okay? Like, this is what I was told. When you go to college to get a career. That's the plan. So I'm like, okay, I kind of got the career already because I got the internship. I already know they're going to ask me for the second round. And then after the second round internship, I'm going to get the offer. Like, I'm already knowing. Going into your junior year, you already knew that you had your second round or not. So I knew that I was going, again, the upcoming summer for my second round internship. 9 times out of 10, if they ask you for a second round internship, you're going to get the offer. So I'm like, okay, cool. Not really too worried about that. But I also did know, like, I did not know what was going on in my internships. It was not interesting. Like, it looked good because this is my first time being in a corporate environment. Everybody wanted to go corporate. Like, you got a big girl job, basically. You're doing your thing. You're in corporate America. They flying you out for internship experiences. Like, it looked really good, y'all. But in that moment, it was just like when I was at the internships, it was just like, I don't even know what's going on. It's cool, but like, what's happening here? I know I can't do this for the rest of my life because I don't even know what's going on. Okay, so that was like my whole idea. That's my whole experience with that. But I said all of that to say, this is what was going on at the time where I realized, like, okay, it's my voice that does something to people. I'm going to take this and run with it. I still didn't cancel out the career part, but we're going to get to that soon, right? So somebody asked me, why wasn't I running for Miss Lincoln University? Because going into your senior year, I did a pageant my freshman year as well. So I've always been known on campus to be like a campus queen, stuff like that. I've always been active in my community. I always did a lot of extracurricular things, like always. Since the first day I got to campus, I joined a group, an org, and a lot of orgs, a lot of e-boards. I did a lot of things in college, okay? So somebody asked me, why wasn't I running for Miss Lincoln? And I didn't have an answer. I never really thought about running for Miss Lincoln. It wasn't a thought. It wasn't a plan. You know how some people, they know I'm going to be the queen of this campus. Like, that wasn't really my thing. Not going to say it wasn't my thing. I never really thought of it to be my thing, right? So when they asked me that, I was like, yeah, why not? I don't know why not. And me understanding that I wanted to help women find their purpose and have the joy that I had, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I started the Miss Lincoln process, and that's when COVID hit, y'all. So we went through the interview process. I created my whole platform. We were literally at the step where you start planning for the pageant, and then COVID hit. Boom. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, my platform was called Divine Purpose, The Inevitable Journey. And that came to me in my sleep. It still gives me goosebumps to this day. Like, listen to it. I'm not smart enough to make nothing up like that. Divine Purpose, The Inevitable Journey. That's still like, oh, that's still so good to me. But once God gave me that name, I was like, that's the platform. And it took me years to really conceptualize what that even meant, but it always sounded real good. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go under Divine Purpose, The Inevitable Journey. I did my whole campaign shoot, flyers, all of that, everything. Like I said, COVID hit, okay? So at this time when COVID hit, it was kind of like, okay, y'all gotta go home. Cool. So it was still kind of like, okay, great. I'm overwhelmed with academics, and I'm a little overwhelmed with this Miss Lincoln thing. I can really use a break. So I'm excited to go home. But when they said, take your refrigerators, like y'all taking everything home, I was like, oh, okay. But it still didn't click like we were never coming back. Okay. So once we got home, moved back in, kind of playing things by ear. We were still preparing for the pageant, but we was like playing everything by ear because we didn't really know what the word was. I mean, y'all know how COVID was. Nobody knew what was going on. So I'm like, okay, cool. They made the announcement that the pageant would be virtual. And at the time, I'm like, no. I am an in-person type of girly. Like, I have no desire to do no pageant online. Like, again, I did a pageant when I was a freshman. And then from that court, I was planning pageants and helping girls with pageants, and like just the whole pageant idea virtually, I was like, yeah, no, I do not want to do that. So I was at odds, okay? But I need to give y'all a little bit of context. Did I even answer the first question? Pause. Let's pause. Okay, it says, what was the first time I realized I had purpose? Cool. That's the first time, yo, okay? That's when everything happened. So going into, before I decided not to do Miss Lincoln anymore, we were home for some time at that point. While we were home, this girl DM'd me on Instagram, and she was talking about this opportunity, and I'm like, okay. I blew it off the first time. Second time she DM'd me, I'm like, she keep DMing me, like, okay, like, let me just get on the phone with this girl. Maybe that's going to scare her to stop DMing me. Get on the phone with her. She got me on the phone with her mentor. They talking to me about making money from my phone. It's COVID. I'm home. I need money. Like, college kid, I'm talking about $7 bank account. Broke. Like, don't got it. So I'm like, okay, make money from my phone. That sound good. And I'm a math girl. Like, I know I can, you know, tech probably not that bad as long as I have some support. And she put me on the phone with her mentor, which gave, I'm going to have some help. So I'm like, let me see what this is about. Cool. One thing led to another. I joined. Y'all. When I joined, they had like these motivation calls and then like class calls, the way we learn how to trade, right? And I got on a motivation call because, again, I'm already speaking on campus. And I also took this idea of me helping people find their purpose. I went hard with that, okay? I used to have girl talks. The community that I had like in college, I tried to transfer virtually, right? So I'm having girl talk events. I'm still speaking. I'm really getting into my Bible now. I'm preaching on Instagram every day. Like, it's a thing, okay? So when they said motivation, I'm like, let me hear what they talking about. Y'all, blew my mind. Blew my mind. Not blew my mind because, wow, I never heard any of this stuff before. But blew my mind because you're speaking my language and you're telling me that you make $50,000 a month. And you're my age. I'm 19 at this point. He was 20. He said, he really going off, your high energy, just giving it up. I'm like, okay, I can do that. I know I can. I already do that. So you mean to tell me you're doing this and you make $50,000 a month? Y'all, I didn't know nothing about no trading. I didn't care nothing about no trading. I'm like, this platform that this man is on, making this type of money, doing what I already do, I'm doing it. It was a no-brainer. When you say $50,000 a month, you got to think 19. I'm thinking corporate life. They only offering me 50 plus a year, 60 a year. This is my first time hearing anything about $50,000 a month. It was just like, what? Never heard of no something like that. Never, ever in my life. So I'm like, okay, God, we on to something here. I don't know. But then right after that, y'all, they announced that the pageant was going virtual. And I knew that if I was going to do this opportunity, this man, he wasn't saying you just sign up and make the $50,000 a month. He had to work his way there. And I'm the type of person where I can't split my energy. I can't split my attention. So if I'm going to do something, I got to be all in it. So it was either be all in with the $50,000 a month, or you be all in with trying to be Miss Lincoln. So I'm like, listen, I already don't want to be no virtual queen. So Miss Lincoln, out. I'm sorry, y'all. Drops out of the pageant. It hurt though. It was a hard decision to make because I'm like, I ain't gonna lie. I never thought it wasn't gonna work with the network marketing thing. I'll get into that too, but I never thought it was gonna work. It was kind of like, like how am I gonna look dropping out of the pageant? I already put in so much stuff. People are expecting me to go, but it's like, no, she's not going to do it because she want to be a Forex girl. And if you know anything about Forex, finally, yeah, I told you I was Forex girl. I mean, if you probably know me because of my Forex life if you're here anyway. But yes, this is how I got into network marketing. So the network marketing company I was in, I won't disclose the name because this video might go up and I don't need nobody come back to me, right? So not disclosing the company name, but it was a network marketing company. We were basically selling people products to help them trade on the foreign exchange market. Okay. So I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to say, this is my pitch, y'all. This is me making a decision right now. So it was two things. You could just trade or you could become an independent business owner. The $50,000 a month came from you being an independent business owner. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be an independent business owner, but I need to use my Miss Lincoln platform that I already came up with, and I'm going to leverage that in network marketing, right? So my whole pitch was, I am helping people find their purpose through financial freedom. That was my thing, okay? That's how I blended both worlds. Because trading, that's a whole different conversation. We can talk about that. Y'all leave some questions in the comments if you want me to go down that road, but whatever. That's how I got to choosing network marketing over Miss Lincoln. When I say network marketing was the best thing I've ever done in my life as of this far, okay? That was one of the best opportunities that I've ever took a risk to do. We had to pay to sign up, first of all. $200, I didn't have it. I don't even know how they got that money out of me, but they did. One thing led to the next. I started going nuts, okay? Crazy, insane, super locked in. I was telling everybody I knew about this opportunity. I learned so much in that business. First of all, being exposed to $50,000, and I'm telling you, $50,000 a month, he wasn't even at the top, okay? It went from, okay, you could go all the way up to $750,000, which is $750,000 a month. And I'm not saying these numbers sound crazy, but when you're in a community with people making this type of money, you're going to conferences, flying out to hear people speak. I realized in that moment that the difference between wealth and poverty is a mindset thing. I locked in so hard, y'all. So the goal, everybody's goal as an independent business owner within the network marketing company I was in was to go chairman. If you wanted to be an IBO, you was doing that to go chairman. Chairman 10 was the first chairman level, where that's the first 6-figure rank, okay? $10,000 a month. I told myself, but I am going to hit chairman. I was going to max the comp plan out. Chairman was already done. I was doing it. And it's so crazy now that I say that, because I remember when I was a senior in high school, I knew I wanted to study human behavior. Again, I've always been the advice-giving friend. I knew I wanted to study psychology, human behavior, something like that. Therapy, something. I wanted to be something in that realm. But Lincoln did not offer human behavior. They did not offer that. And I was like, okay, what's the next best thing? Social work. Okay, I started looking up salaries in social work. I'm also, to give me some grace, I'm 17, graduating from high school. So I'm looking up the numbers, and I'm like, these jobs, these salaries not hitting. I need to make 6 figures when I graduate, because I already knew I didn't want to keep going to college, okay? So I'm like, I need a career, I need a major that's going to land me 6 figures by the time I graduate college. Cool. Boom. That's what made me pick accounting. All right, skip. Boom. We passed that. Fast forward, I hit Chairman 10, which is $10,000 a month, in 9 months of being in that business. When I crossed that stage in May 2021, graduated from Lincoln, I was a 6-figure earner. Also, the job offer that I had with the internship whole path that I was talking about earlier, they offered me $55,000 a year. At that time, when I received my offer, I was at P5. No, I was at P2, about to hit P5. So P2 was $2,000 a month. So that's $48,000 a year. My next rank was P5, which is $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year. So I'm like, if I am a couple people away from making $60,000 a year, why would I sign up? Why would I commit to making $55,000 a year? Because I already knew that P5 wasn't it. I'm going chairman, so that's not a thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everybody thought I was crazy. My mother was like, my mom, she's supportive, right? She understands how much influence she has over my decisions. So she didn't really say too much, right? I probably didn't even think I told her at this point. By the time I got to P2, P5, C10, my mom was gone. I was so locked in. I didn't care about what nobody had to say. Because once I was climbing in the ranks, I knew it was only up. So it's nothing you could tell me. I'm about to make more money than you. It's nothing you could tell me. Nothing. And something that we also taught a lot, we were learning a lot in network marketing, is stop listening to people that don't have the results that you want. Respectfully. Right? Because if they knew what it took to make millions of dollars, they would be making millions of dollars. Okay? So I'm like, listen, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Because by the time I start this job anyway, I'm going to be a chairman. I already know it. Did I know it? Did I know how it was going to happen, y'all? No. But I knew it was going to happen. So I'm like, okay, cool. All right. I declined the job offer. I really got to do this. Nothing really changed. I just put my back all the way against the wall. Like, all right, Kayla, you ain't got no job. You declined the job offer. Like, it got to work. Cool, y'all. 9 months, I hit Chairman 10. I hit Chairman 10 in March of 2021. I graduated June 2021. Crossed the stage as a 6-figure earner. In that moment, I didn't even realize what I just said. I just realized that just now. Like, going into college, I wanted to be making 6 figures on my way out. I was making 6 figures on my way out. How? I don't know. Well, how was through network marketing. The way I thought it was going to happen was securing a job that offered me 6 figures. That's not how it happened. And I'm going to stop there in my story because that is a prime example of how faith works. Okay? A lot of times we don't believe things because we don't know how it's going to happen. You have to know that it's going to happen. And you have to be open to how it's going to happen. You pray for a cake and God gave you butter, egg, batter. You got the cake. You have to work it, okay? I had the opportunity that was going to get me to 6 figures, but if I would have never took advantage of it, I would have never walked that stage, doing what I said I was going to do at 17, okay? Does that make sense? We can go into that further, but I wanted to just drop that real quick, okay? So yes, that's why I chose network marketing over corporate. My network marketing journey taught me so much, and I'll probably do another video, or with my questions we could probably get into some more of the things that I learned. But the biggest thing I learned about being in that space was the power of belief. That business taught me how to believe in God more than I've ever believed in God ever in my life. I grew up in church, but like, to have a real relationship and to really put to use faith in real time, that was different. Right? I feel like growing up, I didn't really know. I knew like walk by faith, not by sight, but I didn't know what like that really meant. And I think that a lot of people don't really know what that means. Okay? If you know how to do it, you don't need faith to do it. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. Okay, another thing. On this channel, I'm very raw. I'm very transparent. I'm untraditional. So I might come against some of your beliefs, and that's okay. But if you're open to growing, some of your beliefs needs to change anyway. Okay? Cool. So I realized that was my first time really, really, really using my faith. Because when I said I was going chairman with nobody signed up in my business, chairman required 500 people to be in your organization. When I tell y'all, it felt like this was my first time doing something that nobody supported me. I've always been good in school, always got like honor roll, stuff like that. Just always been the person. I've never been like the person that was alienated. I never been that person, right? So when I went after something that I really believe that can help my people, I'm telling y'all, I was like, this is the answer. Y'all keep stressing about money. This is the answer. Do it. But the amount of no's that I got, it was like, I felt so lonely. I felt so crazy. I felt so like, oh, I'm going to show y'all, right? So it went from, I'm trying to help y'all to, oh, y'all don't believe in me. Oh, y'all don't believe in this. Oh, I'm going to show you, right? That energy was the reason why this is Purpose Reloaded, okay? Because that girl, she was ruthless. She had something to prove. Like, she ain't care. She was telling you, you dumb, you broke, this, that. Losing my mind, y'all. My intentions were pure, though, because I knew that this was the answer that my people needed, but my delivery was so crazy. Like, it was so crazy. It was so crazy. So if I hurt your feelings during that time, I'm glad you came back. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that. But listen, I was crazy, okay? But it was all rooted in the fact that I felt like I didn't have nobody around me. I felt like I had a point to prove. And cool, y'all. So I'm gonna tell y'all. I got there, right? I did all of this stuff. I felt so lonely. I finally got to where I knew I was going to get to. When I hit chairman, it was just like I told y'all it was gonna work. Them 500 people were like, okay, my main leaders in my business were people that I've known for years, okay? Like my top leaders, my little sister, my best friend, my homeboy, like my top leaders were, people that I knew, people I was able to like mold and help and like work with, get them on board. Cool, right? I'm grateful for them. But the rest of I told you I needed 500 people to go chairman. It was 3. It was about like 5 people that I knew that was in the business running with me, right? 5. That leaves 455 other people in the business. And by the time you hit chairman, you're way past 500 people. So I was like close to 600, 700 at this point. The hundreds of people were not people that I knew. It wasn't. So that was one big lesson that I learned. The people around you not going to understand until it's already done. They're not supposed to understand. That was a very hard lesson to learn. We can get into some more lessons. That's not the context. That's not the point of this. But I got to Chemerton, right? And I lost everything. I told you I hit chairman in March. I graduated in June. I got pregnant. No, I graduated in May. Hit chairman in March, graduated in May, got pregnant with my daughter in June. By October 2021, the business was like falling apart. Like, y'all, when I say I was losing like about 30 people a day, 70 people a day. Like, it was kind of like I was trying to pick up sand and it's just falling out my hands. Like, I had no control. I couldn't do anything. And very transparently speaking, I was trying my best, but I was pregnant. Morning sickness had me. And also my daughter had a doctor's appointment around this time, and they told me that she had like a cyst on her brain or something, and I'm like, what does that mean? But my mom was also telling me like, you cannot be stressed out, like the baby, that all of that stuff contributes to the baby. So I'm like, okay, forget the business. Like, my baby I am not risking my baby for this business. It's already falling apart. I can't fix it. Like, whatever, forget it. My daughter's fine, right? She's fine, completely healthy. The next appointment, sis was gone. Okay, nothing's wrong with her. But it was that moment where I realized, like, okay, I gotta stop this. I cannot keep trying to hold on to this. I was distraught. Okay, so this is the part where I go from entrepreneur to employment. My network marketing experience, that was like, I never felt so close to God ever in my life. It felt like me and God built that business from the ground up. Again, I told y'all, my whole concept around why I became an independent business owner was from my Miss Lincoln platform. My Miss Lincoln platform was a result of my surrender. Me asking God, who am I? Show me who I am. Give me whatever. So I felt like I was in my purpose so heavy in network marketing. Like, I was changing people's lives. Like, it was happening. I was doing it. I was on stages. I was in a private jet. Like, just the lifestyle. Like, I thought I had it, y'all. I told y'all, I declined my job offer for this. I thought this was it. So when it fell apart, I was so lost. Like, it felt like I was like the highest of the highest of the high to the lowest of the lowest of the low. Like, never been that low ever in my life. Never, ever, ever. It was horrible. It was horrible. I can't explain it. It was horrible. Like, if I could give some context, I was embarrassed. One, because again, I was trading Forex. Everybody thought Forex was a scam. Everybody thought they was a comedian when it came to it. It was just like, when you believe in something and people are trying to like ridicule you about it, it creates an energy where it's like, I'm going to show you. It's going to happen. Like, you think I'm a joke? Like, you playing with me? Like, so that's the energy that I had. So once I lost it, it felt like everybody that laughed, everybody that joked, they was right. I was so bitter. And I was a mom too. So it was just like, okay, I'm pregnant. I was so in my own head about in my feelings. I was so in my feelings about the network marketing piece that I didn't have the confidence to build something else. I didn't. My confidence was shot. I've never not been confident ever in my life. So like me not being able to just get up and get on the camera and speak, it was like I had nothing to speak about. I didn't want to talk. I wanted to actually hide and like go missing somewhere. Like I didn't want to, I could have never said this to you all without crying, without being so transparent. I couldn't admit to it, y'all. Like I couldn't do it. It looked like it's not that, but whatever. I couldn't do it, right? So I'm like, okay, all right, God, listen, me going back to work, not happening. No, it's no way that I was just making $10,000 a month and you're telling me that I have to settle for anything less than that. I live in a luxury apartment, y'all. I bought my first apartment. I was having my way. I was 2021. I was having my way. And you want me to go get a job? You want me to work? You want me to build somebody else's dream? You want me to do that? I am not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. This is my mindset. I'm not doing it. God, this is what I said. I said, God, I would love to do what I was doing in network marketing with like my mentees, like talking to them every day, calling them on the phone without the trading part. How can we create something where I'm not selling people nothing, but I am talking to them about their life and how they can get to where they're trying to go? How can I make people make their life make sense without selling them Forex? That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. But that life requires a confidence that Kaylah did not have at that time. So, and my daughter was born in March. So it was given, all right, girl, you going to sit here and you don't have the stay-at-home mom luxury. Nobody's paying your bills. That's not a thing. Okay, so something got to shake. Financially, you got to get a job. That was the hardest. I remember crying so hard. Like, this is so embarrassing. Not only is it embarrassing, but it's like, I already seen too much to go back here. This is crazy to me. I don't want to do this. A lot of the embarrassment came from me because I'm like, I'm the one telling y'all, like, y'all rather build somebody else's dream and not build your own. I'm popping it, y'all. I told you I had so much to prove. Like, I'm just trying to tell people what's really going on this side. So I had to eat every word, every single word. That was the most humbling experience ever, right? So first, I started working at a car dealership just to get myself back on my feet. Like, I did not know what it was like to not have money at that point. Like, I didn't know. So it was just like, okay, all right, you got to get a job, Kaylah. Like, you got to. You don't know how you're going to build this business. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start a podcast. And my podcast videos are on my YouTube. Y'all can go see them. But, like, I tried to start a podcast, but I did not have the confidence to do it. I did not have the clarity to do it. It was just like, I can't do this. That's just not going to work. So I had to get a job. Long story short, I started working at a car dealership. That was kind of like, nah. Like, it was cool, but then it just stopped making sense after a while. Far commute, change, literally. Like, I'm talking about less than $1,000 every 2 weeks. I was making $2,500 every single Friday. No taxes coming out, nothing. I mean, I had to save my tax money on the side, but, like, again, no tax money coming out. So you expected me to settle for less than $1,000 every 2 weeks. That just stopped making sense. It was given, I'm spending my check on gas to get here. So I'm like, yeah, no, this can't work. Then I'm like, okay, I got to use my degree. I have a degree. Let me just see what I can do with my degree. I applied for T. Rowe Price. And I was like in the process of going for T. Rowe Price. But I knew, like, I don't want to do this. I remember what it was like in my internship. That's not going to be fulfilling. Like, I need to be able to impact people directly. I need to be able to speak to people. I need to be able to talk about their life. Like, that's what I want to do. So the T. Rowe Price thing didn't work. So I'm like, okay. Well, I was still going through the process, right? So I needed something in the meantime. The school year was about to start. So what was it? 2021, 2022 school year? Yeah, I believe. 2021, 2022 school year. And my so I modeled in high school, and my modeling coach at the time, this was her first year being a principal. Shout out to Washi. But this was her first year being a principal, and she was looking for, I was also substituting too, a little bit, right? So I was working a car dealership job through the summer because I couldn't substitute anymore. I was big and pregnant substituting, y'all. So I was doing that at first, and then she was looking for a substitute position for a math teacher, and I'm like, math is easy. What type of math? 8th grade math? Algebra 1? What? Sign me up. I do it. I was honest with her, though. Like I said, I'm in the process of, getting, like, I'm waiting for the T. Rowe Price stuff to kind of, like, pull through. But I'll do this in the meantime. Them girls, they saved me. Shout out to my babies, man. Oh, now that's the part that's going to make me cry. But them kids, they saved me. So that first week, I knew, like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm about to cry. Okay, whatever. I am not doing the T. Rowe Price thing because I'm not going to be fulfilled there. I'm not. So I'd rather do something that at least does not feel like work. That was also a part of my prayer too. Like, God, if I have to go back to work, then it just can't feel like work. Like, it just can't feel like work. It can't feel like work. So I'm like, okay. Being a teacher, it didn't feel like work. I love them girls so bad. That's a whole nother part. But, yeah, so it didn't feel like work. I love teaching math. Cool, right? So, but I love talking to the girls. I love being able to, like, I told myself too, before I go into this classroom, my whole logic, and this is another thing, I was very intentional from that moment, from Miss Lincoln to network marketing to teaching. I said, I am going to go into this school and help these kids become better people. When I was in network marketing, I was helping adults, grown women. I'm 19, y'all, 21 at this point. I'm helping 40-year-olds process childhood trauma. So my logic was, let me get in front of it. Instead of helping them like go back and process childhood trauma, let me get in front of the trauma while it's happening, right? That was my mindset. I'm like, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to help these girls become better people. I am going to help them process how they feel so they don't get to a trauma point. That was my logic. Going in the classroom, I still had to teach math. So I'm like, yeah, you can do it to a certain degree. And the school that I was teaching was a restorative practice school. So we had like circle time where we could talk about life stuff and not always academics. So I felt good about that. I'm like, okay, it's not all academics. I can still talk to them a little bit. So let me do it. I'm like, okay, let's do this. I did it. I learned quickly, like, okay, Kaylah, the vision that you have for these girls, you can't do it because you're still a math teacher at the end of the day. You still have to teach your content. Because I would get carried away in circle time. I want to talk about your life all day. Somebody having a breakdown in my class, math lesson over. Let's talk about this. What you going through? How you feeling? And I taught middle school too. They was real mean. Oh my God. They say anything to each other. And I'm like, this is how the trauma started for my adults in Forex. Absolutely not. I don't play that. We're not doing all that bullying. We're not making nobody feel less than. We're not doing that. But also, it was kind of like a double-edged sword because the girls were doing it for, 8th grade. You start feeling yourself. Now, all of a sudden, you think you're better than somebody. You looking at the kids, less fortunate kids, the kids that don't have as much as you. You looking at them different, making them feel bad, all of that stuff. But for me, I was kind of like bamboozled by the academic part, right? Because I'm teaching 8th grade math to kids that don't know how to add and subtract. So to me, it was like frustrating, like, I can't even get through the lessons because they don't understand. What is this about? So that woke me up to like the system and like where these kids are. And I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna say I don't care, but it kind of felt like, listen, me teaching y'all this algebra is like not realistic in a way. You're on a 2nd grade level, and I have a couple months to get you on an 8th grade level. We got to make this make sense. Yeah, I can help you go from 6th grade to 5th grade. 2nd grade to 5th grade, but 2nd grade to 8th grade, when you don't do your homework, when your mother don't really care, that's not, no, I'm not doing that. Like, that's, no. So I'm sitting in professional developments. I'm sitting in these meetings. And I'm just like, all of the stuff that y'all saying is cool, but the root of their kids' problems, the root of these children's issues are so much bigger than us. And if we really want to talk about it, the system that we're working for is not designed to really help these kids if we really want to talk about it. The whole No Child Left Behind concept put the responsibility of a child's learning back in a parent's hands. And these parents, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. I was so like mind blown because my mom, again, I've always been good in school. So my mom didn't really have to play helicopter, make sure I did my homework. I did all of that stuff on my own. And my brother, he wasn't really necessarily like me. So my mom was very hands-on with him. So I was so oblivious to the whole idea of like people not, supporting their kids academically, like completely oblivious to this stuff. So I'm like, okay, now I'm finally being exposed to the reality of the children that struggle. And it was just like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? I'm doing my best, y'all. Don't get me wrong. I'm doing my best, but I'm talking to them from a mindset part. A lot of these kids, they deal with so much stuff that we didn't deal with, or I didn't deal with growing up. And it's like, you expect them to focus on school when they thinking about how they're going to eat, when they got to pick their siblings up from school and they're in the 8th grade and they got to make sure the kids is clean. Like, they live in grown-up lives with child understanding. They can't even conceptualize what they're going through. They just feel the emotion so heavy. So it's like, honestly, I am not about to act like I don't understand this, right? I'm not about to act like I'm not aware of this. It's enough people in the buildings, in these school systems that's genuinely not aware of any of this. So the fact that I have the awareness, I have to show up differently. All of the kids love Stringfield. Not all of them, but most of them. And it wasn't because I was just a cool young teacher that played around. I loved them in a way that I still held them accountable. If you was really my student for real, you knew. Stringfield cool, but she don't play. I will fail you and laugh at you. Like, I will laugh with you, play with you, cool. You don't do that homework, 0. Because at the end of the day, somebody got to show you what real life is about. Your circumstances are real, but life is real too, right? So that's my whole mission as a teacher. Cool. That school year, I still wasn't ready to. I knew that year, my first year teaching, that I felt limited. I'm like, this is not what I want to do. So this is not gonna be it. Like, this is not forever for me. I already know I'm gonna be back an entrepreneur. This is it. Cause me seeing the money that I seen, I'm gonna be honest. I'm never gonna be able to settle for $60,000 a year, $100,000 a year. I'm not gonna be able to settle for that. I'm not gonna be able to settle for $2,000 a year. I want to be a millionaire. I was very clear about it. I've always been very clear about it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So the trajectory of being a teacher, all of that sounds good for a lot of people, never sound good to me. I'm not about to get all of these degrees just to climb your ladder, just to make still under what I want to make. This is my mindset. So I'm already knowing I'm not doing this for a long time. Cool. I was working for a charter school first. So they had like their own systems in place, right? I never had a teacher certification, y'all. I have a finance degree. Never went back to school to become a teacher, nothing. I started as a long-term substitute. But I'm like, okay, I'm not ready to leave. I don't have no business yet. Like, I still got to pay my bills. Survival mode. I was in survival mode. I still got to pay my bills. The job was paying my bills. So I'm like, okay, I got to be a teacher next year. And I knew that if anybody would have audited the school staff, I would have been the first out the door. I didn't have no certification. So crazy, because my best friend, she also became a teacher at that year. Her school gave her certification. Me, they didn't give me my certification. I had to go take tests. I remember trying to apply for my certification the same way she did. And they kept saying I didn't have enough math credits on my transcript. And I'm like, I have a finance degree. How don't I have enough math credits? And I knew too, I didn't have enough math credits because I tested out of all of the math classes. I only had to take 2 math classes my whole college. So I'm like, if you look at the math classes that are on my transcript, I'm sure the classes that you're expecting are prerequisites to the class that I took and aced. So it's not making sense to me. So now I'm getting frustrated. Like, this is frustrating me. I just need a little certification to keep my job for another 2 years or so. Like, what do I have to do at this point? So that conversation led to me being a part of a change in career program. It's called BCTR, Baltimore City Teachers Residency. Basically, a career change program if you don't want to go back to college. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, whatever. I had to pay for it. That was irking me. Because I'm like, okay, whatever. But I was working, so I'm like, I'll just pay for it. If this is what I got to do to get the certification, whatever, I'm going to do it. So it was an option. I could choose a 2-year program or a 4-year program. Of course, I chose a 2-year program. 4 years just sounds too much. Too much of a commitment for me. I'm like, 4 years. Oh, no. I'm not going to be able to do that. Like, I'm not doing a 4-year program. So I'm like, okay, cool. I did the 2-year program. And it was cool. It was good. I went through it, met a lot of good people, whatever. So I could not stay at my first school, though. I had to go to a city school where, you know, they was in partnership with, like, basically like a contract. Like, they was a partnership. So I had to go to a school that was in partnership with the program, which would put me at a Baltimore City public school. And y'all, I was adamant. I said, I'm not working at any public school. No, I'm not. I went to an all-girl school all my life. I went to Bliss, which is Baltimore Leadership School for Young Women. It was a charter school, very strict, very, you know, it wasn't given ghetto. It wasn't, okay? So, and then I went to Western after that. Again, very academia, high standards, high, you coming in, you act like you know, okay? So, again, any public school where y'all got metal detectors and all of that, oh, no, nope, no, and I didn't want to teach at a co-ed school. Nope, all girls only. I'm very strict. I'm very strategic, very intentional. I'm not working at any school, and I'm working at an all-girl school. The only option is Western. I got to get in there. So, the principal at the time was the principal that was there when I was a student. So, of course, connections. Miss White, I need you, girl. Okay? Did the interview process, got into Western. My Western experience, I'm gonna speak on it, maybe not. But yes, my second and third year teaching, I was teaching at my own high school. First year teaching, it was like, first year teaching there, I was on a high just because I was at my old school. I'm like, Western really shaped me into the woman that I was when I first entered Lincoln. Like, I was very clear on my standard. I was very clear on my academic excellence, character, skills, all of that, my demeanor, my aura, business, all of that came from Western, right? The bar is set here. That's it. Okay. You act like you know in here. Okay. So I already had that to me. Okay. So I was a little rough around the edges. It wasn't too. I mean, y'all can kind of see. I ain't too much different. I was just a lot more loud, a lot more, not poised, okay? A lot more, ghetto. But, you know, that was me, right? So Western did a lot for me, okay? In terms of how I showed up. Cool. I was excited about teaching at Western. Overly excited. Like, I was just so excited to be able to give the girls what I got at Western. But I was still teaching math. The second year, I realized, like, yeah, all right, it's getting a little old. I feel too limited. I can't talk about what I wanted to talk about. My charter school experience and my public school experience, two totally different things. Now I'm really in the system at this point. Like, I'm in it. Like, I see everything that's happening. And I'm young. So it's like, I got the young teacher, everybody. Oh, it's just like, oh, I thought you was a student, all of that, right? So it's kind of like everybody like trying to play me a little bit, like indirectly, but I'm in here, I'm looking, I'm paying attention, I'm peeping stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do this. I can't even do what I want to do. No, no. The first couple months of that school year, I was okay. The end of that school year, I was like, yeah, I feel like I'm suffocating. I'm not going to be able to do this. That's when I started really like, okay, Kaylah, we got to go back to what are we going to do? Because you lost the plot a little bit. You stopped thinking about what you was going to do. But now it's giving, you need to plan your transition out because this ain't it. You know it's not it. The bills are paid. Because at that point, bills paid. You know, like I wasn't worried about money. Right? Bills paid. My daughter was fine. But I wasn't happy. I was content. I wasn't fulfilled. And I already had a taste of what fulfillment was like. So I'm like, this is not it. Okay. So I tried to start a mentoring program. It was just like I found myself feeling like I can't really, I told you I'm an all-in type of person. So if I can't put my foot on the gas, it ain't no point of doing it. So I found myself being real inconsistent, launching stuff, not doing it. I even have podcast episodes from that time. It's like 2, but it was like, I'm trying to do it, but I can't do it because I'm not in that energy all the way. Like, I can't do it. It just felt like I cannot do it. It felt like I knew what I wanted to grab. I knew what I wanted, but I could not do it. And that feeling, that tug of war, is what drove me out the door. Okay? So when people ask me, I have that question on my thing, but when people ask me, like, what made you leave your job and how did you build the courage to leave your job? When you know what you're supposed to be doing and you constantly try to avoid that thing, you can't shake it. My 3rd year teaching, it got so bad. It got so bad. And I'm going to tell you, I knew it was over. Okay, so I started school in August. My daughter started after Labor Day. When I could not take my daughter to school that first time, I said, yeah, I'm not doing this no more. That was it. Me not being able to take my daughter to school? No. So from that moment, I was counting down the days to the school year being over because I said, this is it. This is my last year. I'm not doing it. Did I know how the bills was going to get paid? Absolutely not. Did I care? To a certain degree, because it was just like, how the bills can get paid. Like, you still got bills. You still have to take care of your kid. But what I'm saying is this. My purpose grew. It felt like a fire. It felt like I was dying on the inside. I was so freaking miserable. The check didn't even hit the same. I would get paid and be like, this is not enough. This is not worth all that I'm going through. And even if on the surface of it, like, I was a good teacher, I did my thing in the classroom. My girls, they got me through it. I swear. If it wasn't for them kids, I would have been gone a long time ago off of the strength of just being exposed to the system itself. But my kids got me to the finish line. And it was kind of like I was using them to get me up every day. Like, me being there for them, helping them navigate the stuff that they was going through in the building, not even the stuff that they was dealing with at home. A lot of the trauma start at school with the teachers, with the system, with the people in control, the principals, and all of the people that think they got power all of a sudden because they never had power all their life. So finally, you feel like you got one up on somebody. That stuff. If I wasn't the only one in that building that could turn a child day upside down, I would have been gone a long time ago. Okay? So I'm like, listen. I know this is it. I told my students in the beginning of the year, Stringfield not going to be here next year. I'm not coming back. I'm not. We're going to make this the best year possible. But I'm preparing y'all now. I ain't coming back. They was distraught. We was all distraught, okay? It was crazy. But, cool. That feeling of like, I know I could be more. I know I'm supposed to be doing something more than this. I know that this is just too little for me. It started to eat me alive. Fast forward, they wound up surplusing my position, right? It's been a lot of other crazy stuff going on in that building. Whatever. I don't even want to get into that because it was all a part of my story. It was supposed to happen that way. But God told me that was the last year in the beginning of the year. They surplus my position. And it's so crazy because at the time, I was thinking about, okay, how can I do what I want to do, but I need to like figure out a way to put it in the schools. This is me still being in survival, trying to shape my purpose in a way. I knew what I was supposed to be doing. I'm trying to package it just so I can still have a secure check, right? Because I know if I work at the school, they're going to write me a check. The security of the money part. I'm trying to create a whole plan around the money, okay? I'm still trying to hold on to the security of that. I even was like, listen, I come back and teach, but I'm not teaching math. I want to teach life skills. I did a whole presentation. I created a whole curriculum. Presentation fell through, right? No follow-up, whatever. Cool. That's part of my story too. We can get into that maybe not. Not really. It was supposed to happen, so I'm not even really ready to dwell on that. Fast forward a couple weeks after that, they surplus my position. Basically telling me I can't come back. They said they didn't have the budget for a math teacher. In the moment, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little dramatic about it. I really stopped acting like I didn't know what God already told me. Because I'm like, how you gonna tell me you don't have a budget for a math teacher? That's bullcrap. When the math scores is horrible, when my students scored the highest on the MCAP exam last year, when every staff meeting, all we talk about is MCAP scores. but y'all don't have the budget for a math teacher and y'all gonna send me out the door? Me? Stringfield. Oh, okay, cool. So I was bitter about that. And it was kind of like, Kayla, you already knew what was going on. You was never coming back anyway. And I think that's why I just signed the paper. I didn't even really care too much because I was not coming back anyway. So cool. I just seen it as God. That was God telling me, you have to leave. This is not, you can't come back. Anything that you try to do here in this space is over with. Okay? I did not learn that until the beginning of the school year, y'all. I'll just tell y'all just for the sake of this right now. First day of school this year, I went to go see my kids. Not first day of school, first Friday of that first week of school. I went to go see my children. Hey, y'all, first day of school, they gave me the blues. Strength, I can't believe you here. You can't believe you're not here. All this stuff, right? So I went there to just say hi to them. Y'all, the police escorted me out of the parking lot, and they told me that I wasn't allowed on the premises. Why? I don't know. I've never received any emails or anything about me not being able to do that. Never. And I'm just like, okay, listen, that's crazy. That's messed up. Am I banned from the building? Like, again, in my feelings about it, but missing out on the bigger picture. It wasn't about that. I had a speaking engagement opportunity. They told me I was too young to speak. Now, everybody that spoke this school year was either from my class or younger classes than me, but I was too young to speak. Again, I was in my feelings. I missed the message again because it's not about that. It was supposed to happen that way. I'm not supposed to be speaking on that stage, okay? But this is all of the stuff that I had to go through while I was teaching. It was like constant redirections. It looked like disappointment though, but it was redirection after redirection after redirection. And I'm like, that kind of made me want to leave too. That was another reason why I was like, I can't do this. I'm already knowing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm finally getting back to myself. Like, I've processed the Forex journey. I'm not bitter no more. My confidence is coming back. My confidence is back for real. I kind of know what I want to do. I got my life coach certification at the top of last year because I knew I didn't want to be a therapist, because I felt like I knew that in therapy, I would be restricted on what I could talk about. It's kind of like in school. Like, we don't learn about God at school. And I knew that in a professional space with like those type of licenses and stuff, you can't really speak faith, God. That's not, and honestly, that's the premise of everything I teach. So I knew I wasn't about to do that because I'm not sugarcoating nothing. If I can't directly speak to what your situation is and how I see it, I don't want to do it, because at that point I'm selling you short. I'm not doing that. So I'm like, I'm not being a counselor. I was about to get my master's to become a counselor and apply psychology. Didn't do that. My mom is a founder of a PRP program, psychiatric rehabilitation program. And in the process, she was in the building blocks of her business. She's looking for counselors, therapists, this, that, all of that. She's looking for these people. So my mom was kind of like, well, go back to school while you teaching, become a therapist. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, because I'm clear on what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. That sounds good. It looks good, and it's still going to give me more freedom. I'm going to be in my lane. Like, I'm not gonna be in my lane. I'm gonna be on the same. I'm gonna be on the right interstate. I'm gonna be on the right, in the right area. But I'm not gonna be in my lane. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in the house, but not on my. I don't want to be on the block, but not at my house. I don't want to do that. I do that now. What I'm doing with these kids, like I'm in my neighborhood, but I'm not in my house. I don't like this. I just didn't want to do that. So I'm like, okay, listen, God, what can I do? Life coaching start popping up. My big sister from Western, her name is Brianna Pinckney. Shout out to Bri. She was a life coach. That term I heard was from her. I'm putting my phone in charge. Hold up. All right, I'm back. So we'll be on FaceTime. I like YouTube, y'all. I feel like I'm on FaceTime. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So my big sister Bri, she was a life coach. I'm talking about. Let me tell you about Bri just a little bit, just to give you a context. So my freshman year, it was this girl. She was short, light skinned. She walked like she just knew she was that girl. Like, didn't play. She was class president. She was also a affectionate officer. When I say I've never looked up to nobody like this, like outside of my mom, she would like. It was just something about her aura, her energy. She just gives boss. Okay, cool. I always looked up to Bri, right? So again, she graduated my freshman year, so I didn't really have that much time with her. But I followed her on social media and stuff like that, so I seen that she was a life coach. She's also an engineer. But I remember her saying she was a life coach. So I'm like, what is a life coach? It sounds like something I would be interested in. Like, what is a life coach? So I asked her what life coach school did she go to, so I could like look into it. The school she went to was more of like online based. I'm not that type of girly. I need in person. I told y'all that earlier. I'm in person. I need to talk to the professor. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still interested, but I don't know. Miss Lincoln, Miss Lincoln, Courtney, the one that was hosting the sister circles back in college, she posted a picture announcing that she became a life coach. Like at her graduation, she posted her cohort picture or whatever, and was like, she just graduated from Life Coach University. And I'm like, Life Coach University, okay, let me look into this. When I went to Life Coach University, stole my heart immediately. One, shout out to Lanisha. Shout out to Life Coach University founder and CEO. Okay. Lanisha, I just got chills. Like, I remember that moment where I seen her video. I said, oh, this is it. She's talking my language again. The same language that Jalen was speaking when I first joined Forex and I got on that motivation call. The same language. It resonated the same way. I said, oh, I'm doing this. I don't care how much it costs. I don't know. This is it. This is my way out right here. This is how I'm going to become the life coach. I ain't got to become no therapist, nothing. Life coach. I felt like I was a life coach in network marketing already. So life coach it is. Cool. Got on a call with Lanisha. We did a consultation call. Got on a consultation call. I'm telling her about my journey. I'm talking to her. She talking back to me. It's just like, it's just making sense. It just feels genuine. It feels authentic. It feels like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm gonna do it. Right? So she told me the price and everything, and I'm like, yo, she told me it was like $7,000 at the time. Me being a teacher, $7,000 on top of already paying for the other phone died, y'all, but I'm back. On top of my bills, all of that, I did not know where the $7,000 was coming from, y'all. I didn't. Also, I owed the IRS from my network marketing life because, again, I was young. I was making a lot of money. I was not saving how I was supposed to save. Whatever. IRS came. Boom. So I got real bills financially in a jam, but I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm going to do. So, cool. Long story short, I wound up getting through. I wound up paying, figuring out a whole payment plan, all of that stuff. Cool. Getting Life Coach University. And this is in Life Coach University, the whole idea was to, at the end, you would be leaving with a coaching program, essentially. And this is where I kind of added the structure behind coaching, essentially. I'm thinking life coach as just like, it sounds good as a title. I didn't know nothing about coaching, okay? I started learning more depth about coaching. So now in my mind, it's becoming like a thing. Like, this is not no idea. This is the structure behind what you're going to be doing. So I'm like, okay, I'm taking it serious. When I was in Life Coach University, y'all, that's when the tug of war really started, like, making me depressed in a way. Like, it felt like, God, you are showing me what to do, but I can't do it. Like, I feel like I'm trying to grab something, and every time I reach, it's like, nope. I'm telling y'all, it was simple homework assignments. Make a video about this. Post every day. Do this. Post every day. I used to post all day, every day, 3 times a day. Didn't care about getting on no camera. Like, that stuff. I used to fuss at my mentees about that. Like, how you want to go chairman and you don't even make a video? You scared to get on camera. Like, that person became me. And knowing what I knew about how to grow, how to scale, how to get your message out, like all of this stuff that I once knew and was doing and was teaching, I was unable to do. That, oh no. Oh my gosh. The tug of war. Yo, this is just in February. It's December now. This is just February, a couple months ago. So I remember this stuff so vividly. It's like, I literally know what it's like having a dream, but not being the person you need to be to actually get to it. And that's what a lot of people are sitting in right now. you're not clear. Some of us are dealing with the money part, but that's another thing. But it's also like some of us, we are trying to reach so high, and the vision, you're supposed to reach high, right? Don't get it confused. You're supposed to be setting your standards here, but you're so focused on trying to get here right now. You have to become the person to get here. And that constant reach of trying to grab that thing without the development part, it's going to sit you down every single time because you're not there yet. And I realized too, like, just thinking about my network marketing experience, I was developed enough to go chairman. God could trust me enough with 500 people. But my next rank was $25,000 a month. That's 1,250 people in my organization. I did not have the compassion. I did not have the humility. I did not have the experience, nor did I have the understanding to teach that many people, to steward that many people. I was not who I needed to be yet for that. Now I understand that. Then I did not understand that, right? So going after this stuff, it was hard, you know. I used to tell Lanisha, like, please just trust me. Like, wait until the school year over. Wait until the school year over. Wait until the school year over. Like, I know it's just up after that. Like, I can really lock in. I can really focus. I can really do it. Like, please trust me. Like, I know how I give it up. Like, I know how I get. Please trust me. Because another thing too, being a mentor and a coach for so long, a lot of people talk a lot of game, right? A lot of people say a lot of what they're going to do. But when it comes to that execution piece, it don't happen. And I just did not want to be that person. I did not want to let myself down that way. I didn't want to let Lanisha down that way, because she's a coach. She knows. She work with people all the time that say they're going to do this, do that, and don't do it. And I'm like, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not that person. I've never been that person ever in my life. So I need to figure this out. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm like, just wait. I'm not even going to try no more. I keep trying to show up. I keep trying to do the things, but the job was weighing so heavy on me. Yo, I was miserable. I know my friends were sick and tired of me keep saying, I hate this job. I hate this job. I hate this job. I hate this job. I was sick of myself saying I hate this job. I was complaining every single day. Every single day I was complaining. I was outside all of the time. Every weekend I'm just outside I'm just trying to get over the drainage from the whole week. Like, I hated it. I hated it so bad. Like, oh my God. And I love my kids, but the job itself, I hated it. Every staff meeting, it was to the point where I stopped going to staff meetings. I just didn't care. I didn't care no more. I was over it. So that's that. But I understood my transition on a spiritual level. So I'm like, okay, God, we just got to get to June. We got to get to June. Just get me to June. And I swear, I'm never turning back again. Like, I'm never going to do this again. I am going to take this purpose thing and run with it. So, cool. Now, let's transition into CEO Kaylah, okay? First of all, let's address the difference between an entrepreneur and a CEO. One thing I need to know, I feel like I attach CEO mentality to purpose-driven vision, okay? Entrepreneur, business, right? I can have a business. People have businesses that are not connected to their purposes at all. And you want to know how? Look at the customer service experience. Every business owner don't make you feel good. Every business owner don't make you feel wanted. A lot of business owners make you feel like they just need you to buy their product and shut up. Okay? Buy their product. That's it. I'm going to do enough just to get the sales. I'm not thinking about scaling. I'm not thinking about helping people in a deeper level. I'm not thinking about how I can change the world. I'm thinking about the service that I had to provide to you to make the money. And a lot of people that are battling the whole, how do you lead a job, the money thing, like the whole quitting my job without the money, that requires a different level of faith and understanding. That's why I don't tell people to quit their jobs no more. I'm not going to tell you to just quit your job. Why? Because the provision comes after a sacrifice. You quitting your job just to quit your job, that's not a sacrifice. That's an emotional decision that you made because you want to make more money, or you want, like, it's a whole different world. People that build businesses that are rooted in purpose and vision and dreams, like, I'm gonna follow my dream, that's different from somebody building a business to make more money. The way you show up is different. The courage that you have to go after certain things and put yourself in certain spaces and situations is different. Your willingness to say, put my back against the wall, is different when you're following your dream. So again, if you're not somebody that's literally like, I know for a fact this is what God is calling me to do, I can't shake it, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you probably shouldn't quit your job. Okay? If you are trying to build a business because you don't want to work for nobody, and it's like, I don't want to work for nobody. That's why I want to quit my job. I just want to work for myself. That's not enough. That's why you're not confident enough to leave the security yet, because that's not going to help you make the consistent money, right? That's survival mode entrepreneurship. You're going to quit the job, and now you're going to have to overly hustle to get clients and all this. It works out for a lot of people because a lot of people that do that are service providers. If you're good at hair, your hair, it's going to sell, right? Some people don't care about customer experience. If you're good at what you do, you're going to get clients. Simple. You're good at what you do, you post it all the time, you're going to get clients. That's the difference. But the stylists that go from behind the chair to scaling on a high level, they're not thinking about how I can get the next client or how I can make my money. They went from me providing you a service to helping other stylists become better stylists. Like, the trajectory looks different because it's connected to purpose. It's connected to vision. It's connected to how can you help somebody else. That's what gets you the money, right? We've been taught to work for our money, and the more hours you put in, the more money you make. That's not it. Value equals money. Your value is what's going to pay you. So if you're worried about, is the money going to come? Am I ever going to make the money? Are you valuable? Are you positioning yourself as the solution to somebody's problem? If you're not doing that, then no, the money is not going to come. Are you showing up consistently? Right? A lot of us, we think business, we think sell it, we think sell it automatically, right? I'm thinking money. It's not all money. If you don't position yourself as somebody of value, an answer to somebody's problem, the money ain't coming. It's not about how hard you work. We know you work hard. It's no doubt about it. If you can give somebody 12 plus hours of your life and you hate it, I mean, clearly you're willing to work hard. Okay, like, clearly that's hard work. Even if the labor of the job is not hard, it's hard work to be somewhere for 12 plus hours doing something that you absolutely hate. That's hard work. That takes a lot of energy, right? But we don't talk about that. Nobody talk about that. That's why I'm here, right? This is why I had to quit my job, because it's not enough people that's 26 years old, Black, telling you about how to create the life that you want, showing you the system that they've been raised us to live and believe, that's stopping us from getting to where we're trying to go, right? You got to change your mindset. We're going to talk about that, right? This video is so long, right? Whatever. But we're going to talk about that. But yes, I said all of that to say that constant tug of war of me knowing what I know I can do, I've already had the proof of doing it. I know I move people. I've done it all my life. It followed me. That's another thing about purpose. Your purpose is not found, it's discovered. It's already in you. A lot of us, we look into out here. We look into out here. What's my purpose? God, help me find it. It's in here. Get to know yourself a lot more. A lot of people know the mask version of themselves and they don't know themselves. You know your image. You don't know your identity. That's why you're struggling with finding your purpose. And when I say your image don't always look like, oh, I'm trying to be like somebody, or I'm pick up a mask and put it on to make myself feel better. Your image is not always, only insecure people don't walk around with an image. A lot of very secure people are walking around with an image because of the outline, the blueprint that has been provided for us to live. Go to school, get a good job, get a career, boom, successful. A lot of people see that as success. So a lot of people are chasing multiple degrees. You got all of these degrees and you still don't know what to do. You're familiar with your image. You're not familiar with your identity. You don't know who you are. So it don't matter how many degrees you get. You're never going to get to that place of fulfillment because you don't know who you are. You probably could have stopped at the first degree and then try to figure out who you was, and then the second degree would have hit harder. But you keep getting degrees off of the strength of, I'm just trying to figure it out. Maybe if I get this degree, it'll get me this type of job, or it'll put me in this field. I'm interested. You know how much college costs? Like, you putting yourself so far in debt because you're on a discovery channel. You're trying to discover something. When the discovery is for free and it happens in solitude, sit down, figure out who you are. What have you always been known for? I'm not even gonna get into all of that because we could talk about that another time. But cool. My transition into CEO, Kaylah, happened in June. When I first quit, I'm gonna be very honest about this because this is the part that everybody want to know about. Okay, what is it like? Okay, what is it like going from 9 to 5 to your own thing? What is this like? I'm going to be honest with y'all. It's not easy. It's not easy. Most days it's not cute. It's not. I went from living in 2 luxury apartments to living back with my mother. Okay, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I could have bought a new car. I don't have a new car. I could definitely have my own place right now. I can. If I was willing to stay at a job to do it. But I had to make some sacrifices. I did. I went into work to be able to provide for my daughter. I left work because I know I can provide for my daughter the other way. Another way, right? Mindset change. The same reason why I went into teaching is another reason why I left out of teaching. Okay? My first decision was made off of survival. It was a part of my journey. It was supposed to happen. Don't get me wrong. But I was in survival mode as a teacher. I stepped back into ownership leaving teaching because I realized this. God exposed me to a life. First of all, you're not bringing me this far just to bring me this far. You showed me a lifestyle that I've never, ever, ever even dreamt of seeing. Honestly, like, I never thought about getting on a private jet. Like, me just traveling on a regular domestic flight was enough. So to have the experience of getting on a private jet, like, you didn't give me that experience for nothing. You didn't show me that people could make people yearly salaries in a month for nothing. You didn't do that. I just don't serve a God that way. I was so close to God in that time, and don't get me wrong, it was something. I was just immature, right? He had to develop me for my purpose. That's another thing too. God can show you what you're supposed to do. That don't mean you're ready to do it yet. And I did what I could with what I had. But at 19, I could not sit on this phone and do this with y'all right now. I was not this person. I had to go through some stuff. Me being a teacher was me going through some stuff, opening my eyes to what really was going on. I had a decision to make. Do you want to stay here, or do you want to get back to what I already promised you? Really? And it's going to take some development on your part. Just because, and I think this is another thing. I'm going to speak to the church people right now, right? Because I'm a church girl, okay? I grew up in church, but they ain't teach me this. You have access to the promises of God, right? You have access to it. It's not guaranteed, though. Okay? Y'all hear me? Yes, you have access to it, but it just don't automatically apply to you. Okay? The scriptures say the weapons may form, but they shall not prosper. That's a promise. You have access to that. That just don't automatically happen. Because some of the weapons is prospering. Not because God said not because God had anything to do it, because you do. Okay? You have access to the promises. That does not mean they automatically apply. You have to do the work for it to apply. Okay? So, with that being said, it was like I had access to that world. I knew what you promised me. I know the conversations that we've had. I journaled them. I prayed over them. I wrote them down. I meditated on them. I know what you told me. I know who you told me I was going to be for my family. I know it. Your word don't change. We change, God don't change. So if you told me that in that season, you didn't say how it was going to happen. You just told me it would happen. But I realized that the version of me that makes millions of dollars was not who I was at 20. She couldn't have been no millionaire. What? She didn't even know how to manage her money right. She wasn't even all the way securing her purpose. That's why she was so aggressive when it came to it. The truth don't need no help. The truth don't need no help. So that's another reason. That's another way you can like read people, okay? People that overly convince you to be on that team, they insecure. They not ready to stand on their own. I'm so secure in myself, I don't care who go. I know who I am because of whose I am. All of that other stuff don't matter. No job is going to pay me how God going to pay me for the gifts that he put on the inside of me. What? I bring the value to the building. I bring the value to the communities. I bring the value. I can stand alone. I hold the value. That's the mindset shift. That's what changed. That's what happened. That's what's anchoring me in this season now. When I first quit, when I first left teaching school year was over, whatever, I really thought like it was just going to blast off, right? Like I just thought, I don't know what I thought, y'all, crazy. I just thought like, cool, boom, I'm ready. The teaching is out my way. Cool. Let me put the pen to the paper. Let me execute everything. Let me just write it all down. Run the play. No, play wasn't running. Play wasn't running. I'm telling y'all, play was not running. I was still in survival mode. I was still trying to figure out how I was going to make $1. I wasn't thinking no plans through. Yes, I still had the gist. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I had makeup classes. That's another reason why I don't do my makeup classes no more. That's not my assignment. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're assigned to do it. I'm good at makeup. I'm not assigned to do makeup. I will. But for me to make my whole brand around makeup, not what I'm supposed to be doing. I already know that. So I stopped myself in the process of that. I could have did that. I could have went. I know what it takes to build a business. I know what it takes. It takes commitment. I'm not willing to commit to doing something that I didn't quit my job to become a makeup artist. Let's start there. I didn't decide to leave teaching to become a makeup artist. Okay? That's why I don't take makeup serious. It's cool, it's fine. I do it. I teach you. You know, you're still gonna pay for the class, you're still gonna pay for my service, but I'm not branding that. That's not me. Okay? So cool. When I started like to really lock into life coaching, I was just like, okay, where do I start? I'm trying to go back to what I learned during Life Coach University because at this point it's months past. And it's just like, it's not sticking. I know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I know how to coach. That's not a problem. But like, what does the system part of it all look like? So I'm just trying to figure it out for months. Just trying to figure it out. Like, trying to figure it out, but I also wasn't focused. I wasn't focused on figuring it out. The hardest, somebody asked me what you should say. Basically, what was the biggest challenge? Oh, what has been the hardest challenge going from a job to working for yourself? The hardest part about going from a job to working for myself again is how do I say this? I want to say it like this. Firing employee mindsets, right? As when I was working for those 3 years, my life looked like go to work 8, get off at 4, you know, be a mom, do the same thing. You off on the weekends. You think you got time to chill when you don't. You don't really have to focus. You don't have to focus for real. You're kind of like on autopilot, right? So readapting that focus and stepping into the whole idea of, Kaylah, you don't have no check waiting for you. It's no having your back up against the wall, or having my back up against the wall has been the hardest challenge because it requires a level of focus that I have not used in years. I don't have to focus that much to go through school. You know how to go through school. You do your homework, you ask questions when you're confused, you show up, you pass the class, pass the test. That's it. You ain't got to focus that much. I don't know. When I was in school, I could still party. I could do all that. That wasn't the type of focus that I have to do right now. This level of focus requires isolation. It requires isolation. Focus. I'm talking laser focus. Think about when you put your phone on portrait mode. Press on your face. Everything else blurs out. That type of focus. direct, intense focus. Why do I need to be this focused? Because I am building something from my soul. This is like a dream. I'm building something that I understand with my eyes closed. I'm trying to materialize it in the physical realm. Okay? That takes focus. That takes faith. That takes a tight relationship with God. Like when I say, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be recording this video. Like I have to hear him clearly to guide my next steps. It's a whole different level here. I can't do everything I want to do because it messes up my focus. I can't hang around certain people because it messes up my focus. I can't afford to drink and party every weekend because that environment contributes to my thinking. My thinking is a part of my focus. Okay? And this is stuff I teach. Like I'm talking about sitting in my room, writing down curriculums. My teaching skills, that's why I say I don't resent being a teacher at all. It has taught me how to articulate my messages and get my objectives across. Okay? I'm talking students will be able to do this by the end of this lesson. That's what happens in my coaching program. Because if my goal is to help you become the CEO of your life, that has a lot to do with you understanding your identity. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay? We have a lot of stuff to get through. It's a lot of things that you need to unlearn and relearn. Or unlearn and adopt a new mindset for. The life that you want requires a different version of you. How do you help somebody change their whole everything? And you can't change your whole everything. I would be a hypocrite. Certain sacrifices that I had to make, that I want to make them, no, but I know what it's like to try to live outside of my purpose. It's horrible. I'm not willing to fight that battle every day. And that's how I know. Some people is like, you shouldn't quit your job. Because when you know, your bills don't make it. I remember, I'm going to tell you this too. I remember before I started teaching, before I stopped teaching, I told myself, I said, listen, I don't even care. I don't even care. The check don't even hit the same. I'm willing to go broke to build my dream at this point. I'm so miserable here. I saved some money, y'all. I saved some money for my bills before I quit. The first month, school was over in June. By July the 31st, all of the money was gone. I made an investment into myself. Because again, I don't know. I went to Life Coach University, but like, how do I really do the thing? I don't know. Like, I still don't know. Not because my school, like the teaching didn't help me. It was just like, I'm still just looking for stuff. I'm still trying to find a way, trying to get help. I want it to happen fast. I'm trying to just do it now. I had to develop for that. But I say that to say, like, I invested into a coaching program. And I learned a lot, though. Don't get me wrong. I learned a lot. But that was all my savings right there. So, boom. Back to zero. How the bills gonna get paid? The bills have been paid every month. Do it look like one big check where I can just, boom, put my bills on auto pay? No, it don't. It don't look like I could put my bills on auto pay. But it look like they're paid. And that's what you have to be willing to do. If we're going to talk about faith, we really got to talk about it. Faith is not, that's a whole different video. Just because I asked God to make sure my bills were paid, the bills are paid. The way they getting paid, that does not matter. Because a lot of people won't even move because they don't know how the bill's going to get paid. You don't know, you're not supposed to know how. If you're going to put your faith on it, put your faith on it. You still worrying about how, that's telling me you ain't got enough faith to do it. Respectfully. So until you're ready to move past the how part, keep the job. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. Because if you're so concerned about the how, you're not going to do the what to get the money. You're going to be spiraling, trying to figure out how. How is not your job. God told you to do your job, and he's going to do his. If you're not clear on what your job is and how you're going to do your job, how the bill's going to get paid, they ain't getting paid. I'm telling you. Keep the job. Keep the job. Keep it. Keep it. You have to build yourself up to the how. You have to be clear on your how. You have to know your what. You have to know your why. That's why we need to normalize investing into mindset development, personal development. They don't teach us that at school. They teach you how to be an employee. They don't teach you how to be the CEO of your own life. And that does not look like being an entrepreneur for everybody. Everybody don't want to start a business. But you being a CEO of your life determines if you make $100,000 at that company versus the $60,000 that they trying to get you to settle for. Because you coming in knowing that I am of value to this place. Not, oh, I need this job so bad. That's an identity issue. Right? Becoming a CEO of your life does not mean starting a business for everybody. But if you want to start a business, holla. Right? But what I do is for you to have control over your world, control over your life. Do you understand that you are God's highest form of creation? Like, as a human being, your ability to create is what gets you the things that you desire to have. Your desires are an indication that it's supposed to happen for you. But if you don't lean into your desires, you don't understand your desires to be the thing that's going to get me to where I keep praying to go, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. Okay? And I think I'm spilling over into a whole different section, but let me just wrap this up. Okay? I talked about my whole journey. I talked about my whole entire journey. Now today, I am a life coach. Certified life coach. I don't even like to say certified because I don't live in that world. I don't care about your titles. I don't care about none of that. I care about if you are in your assignment. Are you doing what God put you on this planet to do? I know holistic doctors. We have been bamboozled. Okay? People really think that they are everything because they got 16 degrees. 16 degrees and you don't know who you are. Waste of time, waste of money. They played you. Sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. Maybe a couple months ago, I probably wouldn't even been confident enough to say that, but I know what I know. I know what I know. I was the best teacher in that building, didn't have not one teacher certification. I know what I know. When God sends you somewhere, you're overqualified. God qualifies the qualifier, and you think you're not qualified. If he sent you, you're prepared, you're qualified. You might got some development to do, but if he sent you in the room, baby, nobody can stop the door from opening. I'm telling you. So stop chasing the labels. Don't get fooled by all of that. But I say all that to say, I am a life coach, okay? I help women become the CEOs of their life. In 2026 is going down. I'm starting a project. I'm going to put it out here right now. Project 1000. I am making it my mission to help 1,000 women become the CEOs of their own worlds. You run your own show. Because when you run your show, you dictate what comes in your show and what goes out your show. No more ragdoll energy. No more going with the flow. A lot of us going through life like this. Woohoo, wherever. Look like a good opportunity. Boom. Oh, learning the same lesson. You just going all around the merry-go-round because you ain't got no control over your life. But we got all these big goals and all these visions and dreams. You get to your vision and your dream with intention. I can't be intentional without knowing who I am. It's not happening. It's kind of like, and this is my last thing. Think about a dart, right? Think about, people play darts. It's like the little board, right? And then you aim, right? But it's that bullseye in that middle, that red one. It takes intention and focus to land in the middle. A lot of us, we keep shooting. We keep trying to go after goals. We keep new year, new me. We keep doing that. Not realizing that you're on the block, but you're not in your house. You're not even aiming for your house because you don't even know your address. You don't know who live in the house. You don't know nothing about none of that. You're never going to get to the bullseye if you don't know who you are. If you don't know who's aiming, you don't know the focus required to aim. You don't know that direction. You don't know what it takes. You're never going to get there. Okay? So, I hope to see y'all in the next episode. And I'm going to be taking some questions, okay? This was so long. It's probably going to take y'all 5 days to watch this. But if you made it this far, shout out to you. Like it. Make sure you like it, please, because clearly you love me. You was here for 2 hours with me, sister. The least you can do is give me a little like. And comment a question or your favorite part, something that moved you. Go ahead and leave that comment in the comments. And then subscribe because it's up. I like YouTube better. I like long form videos better anyway. It's so hard for me to speak in like 30 seconds on Instagram or like 2 minutes trying to keep your attention. It's hard. I don't like doing that. Okay? I have a lot of depth to me. I need to talk a long time. Okay? So, thank y'all for staying with me. Thank y'all so much. And oh my gosh. It's time to get off of here. See y'all. Bye.